Hello and welcome to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and this podcast is brought to you by thelegendarychiropractor.com, an interactive and immersive virtual platform for prospective chiropractic students, current chiropractic students, recent chiropractic school graduates, and even veteran doctors of chiropractic out in the field wanting just a little bit more from this profession. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you do, be sure to share with a friend, leave us a rate, leave us a review, and also be sure to subscribe to get more. Dr. Brad Glowacki runs one of the highest volume, highest profile, highest profitability practices in the world, and it's all run with vitalistic communication procedures. Those procedures from his office are then shared with other chiropractors at his various trainings as a part of LevelUp Mentoring. This information is created, developed, tested, and then packaged simplistically before being taught. With bruises and scars from making mistakes, Dr. Glow always delivers refined content that is battle-tested and simplified for use on Monday. To level up your life and practice, head over to levelupmentoring.rocks. That's levelupmentoring.rocks. ChiroHD, superior cloud-based practice management software. ChiroHD is a user-friendly, all-in-one EHR solution built with one mission: to help you run your practice like a boss. Learn more at chirohd.com. Total Clinic Solutions is your go-to source for purchasing both brand new and refurbished chiropractic equipment, as well as phone support for repairs and maintenance. Call Derek and allow him to combine your wishes and his 23 years of chiropractic equipment expertise to find what's best for you and your patients at 704-622-4089 or head to totalclinicsolutions.com now. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Johnny Reuter here with the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. We have a beautiful, beautiful day today, and I want to come to you live, obviously from my car where I shoot most of these podcast episodes, and drop some knowledge about hiring an associate chiropractor, why this is important to you, and what our topic is all about hiring an associate chiropractor for your office as a chiropractor. No matter if that's a recent graduate, no matter if you're 5 years out, 10 years out, 50 years out, doesn't matter. It's important that you understand some basic things about hiring an associate, why you need to hire an associate, and what kind of freedom it can bring you and your clinic, and honestly serve your community, right? So we have a couple bullet points that we list off for you. And obviously, before we get started, make sure you visit thelegendarychiropractor.com. It's got everything. And make sure you check out legendarychiropractor.com/chiropair, legendarychiropractor.com/chiropair. That's where you can find all the information about our upcoming launch of our app that is coming out for employers and associates/candidates to find one another. It's literally going to be like a Tinder for employers and associates. It's going to be absolutely epic. And I describe it as a Tinder. It's not really like that, but it's got the basic premise of matching up and making sure that it's two-way profile marketing, meaning that when you have two-way profile marketing, I create a profile, you create a profile, we meet each other, we're able to chat on the platform, and we're able to do everything through the platform. It's going to be absolutely epic. So be on the lookout for that, legendarychiropractor.com/chiropair. It's going to be absolutely sick. Now, the other thing that I have is a couple bullet points about hiring an associate and why you should be hiring an associate. The first thing is when you are hiring an associate, you got to have a set of standards, qualifications that need to be met, and that you have in a list and ordered of importance for your practice and for your team, right? Because when you hire somebody onto your team, you want to make sure that they're the right fit. You want to make sure that they're going to work and be able to handle the workflow and make sure that they're able to communicate your message to your community and to the patients that are coming and showing up to your office. So it's really, really important to understand that. The other thing is that we want to mention briefly is that we kind of expect you to do some sort of a background check, no matter what that be, right? If you want to do a professional one, if you want to do one on your own, it's totally up to you. It's totally fine. And we want to make sure that it happens and it happens correctly. So the reality is that if you do a professional background check, it's all good. If you do, if you want to pay for that, that's totally fine. But the reality is if you find their resume, you ask them to do a cover letter, and you kind of brief through their Facebook profile and their Instagram and their TikTok and their Snapchat, like things like that. You want to definitely make sure that you are covering your bases to make sure that their philosophy, their beliefs, their opinions align with yours. Because far too often we notice and we find and we see that we have varying opinions, obviously, in the chiropractic profession, and we have varying philosophies in the chiropractic profession. And with that, we want to make sure that the background check is not only on making sure that they're safe for you in a chiropractic sense and safe for your office and community from a personal standpoint, but also from a professional standpoint. Making sure that they align with what you believe in, what your philosophies are. You don't want somebody in your office that isn't going to mesh with you, that isn't going to mesh with your team members, and frankly, your community and your community message that you're sharing with people walking in the door. Because God forbid, if someone were to walk into my office as an associate and be in an application process or interview process, and they were like, yeah, I don't believe in subluxation, I don't do that stuff, I don't understand it, I don't really do that, right? It's like, I want them to do a 180 and walk out the door. The reason why is not because our varying opinions are a bad thing, but it's the fact that is never going to work in my office, in my practice. I'm never going to be able to have an associate that doesn't believe in the term subluxation, that doesn't preach what I preach to my community Easily share your passion for chiropractic and look good doing it with Above Down Apparel, offering a premium lineup of principled apparel that's impossibly soft, sustainably sourced, and chiropractic AF. Visit abovedown.co and follow them on Instagram to learn more and score yourself some sweet chiro swag. You don't want two different messages being portrayed as you have an associate in your office and in your practice. So make sure that they align with you personally, make sure that they align with you professionally. That's what we mean by when we say do a background check of some sort. The other thing and the last thing that I'm going to say on this topic of hiring an associate is obviously make sure you're set up for it. Make sure you are set up for it as an office. You have to be profitable. I don't care if you run a $4 million clinic. If your overhead is $3.5 million, right? You better figure out what you're going to do to be more profitable. I just listened. This is a fantastic book. I just finished listening to the book Profit First. Profit First is something that Dr. Kendall, who's my head chiropractor at the office of Aurora Chiropractic, he kind of told me, he's like, hey, this is how I kind of run my business finances. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. I listened to this book, guys. It completely changed my perspective about business, about being profitable, about owner's compensation, about everything. It completely flipped the script when it came to how to run a true successful business. Now, you have to do some of these things in order to be successful. You have to be profitable to be successful. You can't have a successful and sustainable practice as a chiropractor if you are not profitable. This is why so many of the practice management groups that we see just simply, they just don't do what they say they're going to do. They don't make you profitable. They might see high volume and super high volume, all right? And you're seeing thousands of patients a week, 500 patients a week. That's great, right? But what are the collections? Now, it's not about money. It's about money. It's not all about money, right? You're still getting people well, but you're being successful on top of that. And that's what makes your business sustainable. That is the lineage of success. You have to have a successful business model in place. You can't just see high volume, low fees. You have to see high volume, high fees if that's what you're interested in. I'm super interested in high volume, high fees. That's what I want to practice. It's what I preach. It's what I share with the community of Aurora here. So you have to be able to do that if that's what you want. If you want low volume, high fees, great. You can make the model work, but you got to make it happen. You got to be profitable before you can hire an associate, because the last thing I want for an associate, especially if you're utilizing our services here at the Legendary Chiropractor or ChiroPair, the last thing I want is for a chiropractor to walk in your doors, a recent graduate or a student, and you hire them and you say, hey, we're doing a two-year contract, 24 months, and you get halfway through that and you realize something like COVID hits or something crazy happens, right? And you say, I can't pay you anymore, right? I can no longer afford to have you. Not only are you putting them out on their ass, right? I'm sorry, pardon my language. Not only are you I feel very strongly about this because I care about candidates. I care about associates. I care about recent graduates. This means the world to me. And we have to stop this whole dog eat their young BS that happens in the chiropractic profession. We cannot take advantage of Dr. Stu Hoffman, founder and president of ChiroSecure Malpractice Insurance, is the foremost expert in both risk management and risk avoidance. Understanding the everyday challenges of today's practicing chiropractor and the current public perception of chiropractic has made ChiroSecure the fastest growing malpractice insurance program of the last 28 years. Find out more at chirosecure.com. Imaging Services' primary business is chiropractic solutions. With over 45 years in the industry of helping chiropractors, Michael Tokash offers free consultations on building your business. In the past year, Imaging Services has installed over 100 X-ray machines and digital X-ray systems in over 42 states across the United States. For more, head to theimagingservices.com. We cannot take advantage of the youth of this profession because the youth of this profession drives us forward. It drives us forward and it gets us to where we need to be, and how we get there is through the youth of this profession. So if we don't treat the youth of this profession correctly, we will see in about 20 to 30 years, maybe not even that long, the shift in chiropractic for the wrong reasons. And that is the last thing I want, and that's what I'm trying to prevent. So don't treat your associates like dogs. Treat them with respect. Treat them with the utmost respect that you deserved when you graduated from chiropractic school, because you should have been paid well and you should have learned the business systems to run a successful and sustainable, profitable business that they can then go out and start and create on their own. Or stay with you long term and just explode your practice, blow the roof off of it, and have a freaking phenomenal 6-figure gig with you as they scale up in that process of an associateship. So I just went on a little bit of a rant there. I apologize. I'm all red in the face because I just go nuts sometimes, right? Because it just drives me absolutely bonkers. It drives me insane when people get taken advantage of. I'm not about it. I want you to treat your associates right. When hiring an associate, you got to have your qualifications, your set of list things that have to be met through that associate before they walk in the door, before they even interview with you. You got to have that list of what you want their credentials or what you want their job to include before they even start the interview process. The second thing is you cannot not be profitable. You have to be profitable in order to hire an associate. You have to be profitable, successful, and sustainable to hire an associate chiropractor. And the last thing is do some sort of background check on them personally, professionally. If you want to do it, hire somebody to do it, great. I wouldn't go that far. I would just look up their Facebook, their Instagram, their TikTok. I would make sure everything's appropriate, everything aligns with you personally, professionally, and so on and so forth, so that you can win by hiring an associate, setting you free, spending more time with yourself, your family, and your loved ones. You can win, the associate can win by stepping into a practice that's going to teach them the business systems and the model that they need to be successful. And the community can win because now they have two amazing docs with two amazing minds taking care of them and giving them the utmost respect and the utmost care that they deserve. So I appreciate you guys. I love you. I know I brought the heat today. I'm bringing the heat every time on these videos now. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I will be back later, or next week rather, with another video to make sure that we understand everything going on with hiring an associate, how to do it, and make sure that your finances are right, make sure your pockets are right and your office is right to bring somebody on board. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day today. Bye, guys. Again, I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and you're listening to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for engaging with us on all of our platforms, including, but not limited to, Facebook and Instagram, all at the Legendary Chiropractor.
Be sure to check our home site out at thelegendarychiropractor.com, as we have much to offer for prospective chiropractic students, current chiropractic students, recent chiropractic school graduates, and even veteran doctors of chiropractic out in the field. And lastly, I'd like to thank not only you, our listener, but also our podcast sponsors. Without them, this show wouldn't be possible. So I encourage you to go check out their websites and what they have to offer in the show notes for this episode. Thanks again. Stay legendary, my friends.